Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're all about taking dense material, breaking it down, and giving you that clear, useful knowledge. Today, we're tackling the MPP again, the Manual of Patent Examining Procedure, specifically Chapter 1400, which is titled Correction of Patents.
That's right. And within that chapter, we're zooming in even further. Our target today is MPP Section 1454. It deals with the appeal brief, but specifically in the context of reissue applications.
Okay, reissue appeals. So correcting a patent that's already out there, but then you get rejected and you have to appeal that rejection.
Exactly. And the question becomes, how does appealing a reissue rejection differ from appealing a, let's say, standard application rejection?
Yeah.
Because it does differ, especially in how you present the claims.
Right. So our mission today, for you listening, is to really get into the weeds of these special rules for reissue appeal briefs.
Yeah.
Why are they there? And crucially, how did these formatting rules basically force you to show the claim's entire life story?
Precisely. Getting this wrong isn't just a minor issue, it can actually derail your appeal, so it's pretty important stuff.
Okay, so before we get to the special reissue stuff, where do we start? Is there a baseline?
Yeah, absolutely. So first off, the general rules for appeals to the Patent Trial and Appeal Board, the PTT, still apply. We're talking about the requirements laid out in 37 CFR 41.37 and also MPP Chapter 1200, specifically Section 1205.
So things like deadlines, the basic structure of the brief, that's all the same.
Mostly, yes. You need your arguments against each rejection, point to your evidence, the usual stuff. And importantly, you need that claims appendix. That has to have a clean copy of the claims you're actually appealing.
Okay, standard procedure so far.
Right. And another standard rule that's really key here. Generally, you can't just slip new stuff into the appeal brief.
What do you mean, new stuff?
Like new claim amendments that the examiner hasn't seen or admitted yet, or new affidavits, new evidence. The appeal brief is supposed to argue based on the record as it stood when the examiner made the final rejection.
Got it. So you can't use the brief as a backdoor to, introduce a whole new argument or claim feature.
Exactly. It's focused on why the examiner was wrong based on what they had in front of them.
Okay, that sets the stage.
Yeah.
Seems straightforward enough. So why the special section 1454 just for reissue appeals then, if the basics are the same?
Oh, well, that's where the nature of reissue itself comes in. Remember what a reissue application is.
It's fixing a mistake in an already granted patent, right? Usually saying the claims were too broad or too narrow.
Precisely. You're going back to the PTO, hat in hand, saying, oops, this patent we got has an error that makes it partly inoperative or invalid. You're asking to change a legal right that's already been established.
So the stakes feel higher, or at least different.
They are. And because of that, the PTEB isn't just looking at whether the current version of the claims you're proposing is patentable over the prior art. They need to understand the correction itself. They have to evaluate the claims in their, quote, proper historical context.
Historical context, meaning how they changed from the original patent.
Exactly. That's the core idea behind MPP 1454's special rules. It mandates a very specific format for presenting the claims in the appeal brief, and it's not optional.
Okay, so what's the goal of this special format?
Transparency, total clarity. The format has to show, visually, every single change made to the claims compared to the original patent throughout the entire reissue process.
Why such intense tracking?
Well, remember, 35 U.S.C. 251, the reissue statute. You can correct errors, but you absolutely cannot introduce new matter. That means adding something that wasn't described in the original patent specification.
Ah, okay. So this formatting helps the pay team quickly check if you've accidentally or maybe intentionally added something completely new that wasn't supported.
That's a big part of it. It lets them see at a glance the additions, the deletions, the whole evolution to make sure the changes stick to correcting the original error within the original disclosure.
So the appeal brief's claim section becomes this, annotated history of the claim itself, showing its journey from the original patent grant.
That's a great way to put it. An annotated history, or, as you said earlier, a claim autopsy report. It shows what was there, what was cut, what was added.
Okay, let's get practical. How does this actually look? What are the tools MPEP 1454 says you must use in the claims appendix of a reissue appeal brief?
All right, there are two main tools for claims that existed in the original patent but were then changed during reissue.
So number one.
Underlining. This is pretty universal in patent practice, actually. You use underlining to show any text that you've added to the claim language.
Okay, simple enough. So if my original claim said a widget, and in reissue I changed it to a blue widget.
Then in the appeal brief's claims appendix, that claim would read a blue widget, but the word blue would be underlined.
No, wait. Underline, not bracketed.
Underlined, sorry, yes. A blue widget with blue underlined. It signals this word blue was added during the reissue process. It wasn't in the original patent claim.
Got it. Underlining additions. What's tool number 2?
Tool number 2 is bracketing. Square brackets. And this is used specifically to show text that was in the original patent claim but has been deleted during the reissue process.
Okay, so using my widget example. If the original claim was a blue plastic widget and I deleted plastic during reissue.
Then in the appeal brief appendix, the claim would look like a blue plastic widget with plastic inside square brackets. The brackets tell the PT. This word plastic used to be in the issued patent claim, but we took it out.
Huh. Okay, wait a second. Why show the deleted stuff at all? If it's gone, right? Why clutter the claim text with bracketed out words?
That's a really common question. The reason is, again, historical context and scope. The PTT needs to see not just what you added, but also what you removed from the originally granted right. It helps them understand the net effect of the changes. Did you narrow the claim? By how much? What subject matter are you surrendering? Seeing the bracketed, deleted text alongside the underlined added text gives them the full picture of the change in scope relative to the patent you started with. It prevents the history from being erased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like seeing the before and after all at once.
So underlining for additions, bracketing for deletions. What about totally new claims? Ones that weren't in the original patent at all?
All right, good point. Sometimes in reissue, you add entirely new claims that don't correspond to any original claim.
So there's nothing to back it, obviously.
Correct. For those claims, the rule is simple. The entire claim must be presented with underlining, from the first word to the last period.
The whole thing underlined.
The whole thing. That immediately tells the PT tape, this claim is 100% new text introduced during this reissue. No ambiguity. So we've got underlining for additions, bracketing for deletions from the original, and all underlining for brand new claims. It sounds meticulous, maybe a bit tedious. What's the big deal if someone, forgets to bracket something or messes up the underlining? Is it just a formatting error they get asked to fix?
Oh, it can be much more serious than that. Failing to follow these MPP 1454 formatting rules means your appeal brief is technically non-compliant.
And what does non-compliant mean in practice?
It means the PTT can refuse to consider it. They might issue a notice giving you a chance to fix it, sure, but if you don't, or if the errors are pervasive, they could potentially dismiss the appeal altogether.
Dismiss the appeal. Just for formatting.
Just for formatting, because the formatting isn't just about looking neat. It's considered essential for the board to properly understand the procedural posture and the substance of the requested correction. You risk losing your chance to argue the merits of the rejection purely on a procedural technicality.
Wow. Okay, so the stakes are actually really high. It drives home how seriously the PTO treats changes to an issued patent.
Exactly. It underscores the gravity. You're modifying a property right that's already been granted. The PTBEB needs that clear, unambiguous audit trail, the underlining and bracketing, to verify you're genuinely correcting an error within the bounds of the law, like not adding new matter and not just trying to get a second bite at the apple or subtly broaden things inappropriately.
That makes the comparison with, say, re-examination interesting. You mentioned earlier that general appeal rules apply, but this formatting is reissue specific. How does it differ from presenting claims in a re-exam appeal?
That's a great contrast. In ex parte reexamination appeals, you also often amend claims or add new ones. New claims added during reexam are generally presented fully underlined, similar to reissue.
Right.
But if you take one of those new claims in reexam and amend it again during the reexam appeal process, you typically don't use bracketing to show deletions from the previous version of that new claim. The focus is on the changes relative to the original patent, not the iterative changes within the reexam itself for brand new claims.
Ah, I see. So re-exam uses underlining for new claims, but it doesn't typically have that mandatory bracketing showing the step-by-step edits within the proceeding in the same way reissue demands for all changes traced back to the original patent text.
Precisely. The MPP 1454 requirement for both rigorous underlining and bracketing, specifically for reissue appeals, highlights that unique need for total historical transparency, tracing all the way back to the original granted patent claim language. It's about the confession of error in the original grant.
So when the PTAB judges pick up a reissue appeal brief, that claim formatting instantly tells them the story. Here's the original sin, here's the proposed penance, all laid bare.
That's the essence of it. They see the scope modification in context immediately. Hashtag outro.
Well, that really clears things up. We've taken a deep dive into MPP Section 1454, focused on appeal briefs for reissue. The bottom line seems to be, yes, you follow the standard appeal rules, but you absolutely must use that special claim formatting.
Right. Underlining for additions, bracketing for deletions from the original patent claim, and full underlining for entirely new claims.
And this isn't just for looks, it's mandatory. It turns the claims appendix into that historical audit trail, letting the PTA instantly grasp how the claims evolved from the original patent.
And maybe a final thought for you to take away. Think about why this level of detail is required. That meticulous tracking, showing every deleted word in brackets, every added word underlined, it's not just bureaucratic red tape. It really underscores the legal significance of altering an already issued patent right. It forces everyone involved to confront the precise nature and history of the correction being sought. The format itself carries legal weight.
A fantastic point. The format is the message in a way.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for walking us through that complex piece of the MPP puzzle.
My pleasure.
And a special thank you, as always, to Mike Shepard, our creative director, who makes this whole series possible.
Well.
Now, before we go, please take note of the required disclaimer.
This summary of the MPEP was generated using AI tools, including ChatGPT and NotebookLM, and may contain errors or omissions. It is provided for general educational and informational purposes only and is not legal advice or a substitute for formal instruction. For authoritative guidance, consult the official MPEP, a qualified instructor, or a registered patent practitioner.
That's all for this deep dive. Join us next time as we continue exploring the MPP. Happy learning.